Climate change and the eradication of the beaver. Right now I'm sitting in my kayak on the Russian River just below the town of Monterey in California. It's about 60 miles above San Francisco. Around 1812 the Russians came in here and established a colony. And one of the things that they trapped the most was beaver pelts. Beaver pelts were used to make businessmen's top hats that were very popular at the time. They were also used for other things too. You got to remember, everybody basically used fur in those days, much more than the synthetics we have today. They just didn't have synthetics. So they used more animal parts to live on and to make things out of. Anyway, it wasn't only the Russians that were in here. It was the Hudson Bay Company, which is out of Canada. And their idea was to trap all fur-bearing mammals in the West to keep white man from moving to the West. White man was in the East and maybe the Mid-East. And they really didn't want the white man coming into the West. So they thought if they trapped all the pelts or all the fur-bearing mammals and birds, they wouldn't come. But then they discovered gold in California. And they came and there was no stopping them. So anyway, it was what I always thought. Let's put it another way. I never considered the fact that it wasn't just here that the beaver was eradicated. It was the whole earth. Okay? Before they came here, they trapped out all the other places where they lived, Russia, Europe, everywhere. And so this was like the last frontier of beaver, and they almost eradicated them in our area. A big thing. Beaver hold back water so it goes in the ground tables. They hold back water in swamps. They hold back water in creeks so there's room for, or not room, for a place for the fish to spawn. They basically had water everywhere because beaver were here for thousands of years doing their thing, and there were very few people in the area to actually eradicate them before this time. Once they were eradicated, within just a few years, Mother Nature would have wiped out almost all of their dams and broken their swamps and basically started drying up our creeks and rivers and swamps. There would have been many, many more of these things that had water in them all year long before the eradication of the beaver. So what happens if you take all the water away and it just washes out the river to the ocean and is not held back? What happens is climate change, both in animals and birds and probably weather itself. You got to remember, it's not just my area this happened. This happened all over the whole earth, almost everywhere that was accessible by men, from Europe and Russia and all those other countries over there that migrated to the United States. Anyway, think about that. I'm not much of a believer in modern day climate change, but I am a big believer in climate change when the beaver were destroyed. If there is modern day climate change, it's probably actually started with eradicating the beaver. Let's get the beaver back where they belong, making our environment healthy again. Catch you later.